I'm Wallace Bitnew. Do you think it matters what you think about? Do you think it matters what goes on through your mind, minute after minute, day after day? It does. Because as you think, that's what you'll be. Some people think, well, I could be nice to people when I see them, but as soon as I turn my face away from them, I think, oh, I think they're just so horrible. And you think other things other than what you say to them. You think the opposite thoughts. And that's what I'm addressing here today is let our thoughts be pure, let our thoughts be consistent. We need to remember that thoughts aren't just things that come floating in and out through our brain and anything goes, garbage in, garbage out. We can't do that. We have to monitor them. In order for our thoughts to do us some good, we have to monitor them because every single thought that you and I have creates a chemical and electrical response inside of our bodies, which impacts our health. So that's a very valid, real point. So thoughts are real. They're not just some ethereal thing that go floating around. To tell you the importance of thoughts, of what we think about, I want to tell you a story about when I went to visit my doctor for an annual checkup that I had recently. And the doctor, when we were finished, I said to him, I'd like to ask you a question. And he said, go ahead. And so I said, how many people who come to see you are sick because of psychosomatic illnesses? Psychosomatic, of course, is illnesses which start by our thoughts and bad thinking in our mind, and worrying too. And do you know what he said to me? It didn't take him very long. He didn't hesitate. He said, about 85% of people who come here have psychosomatic illnesses, which just confirmed to me how important it is to choose the thoughts that we think for our health, for our own well-being. And when we think about what are we supposed to think about according to what the Bible says? In Philippians 4, verse 8, let me read this. Finally, brethren, this is what the Bible suggests we think about. Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there's any virtue or if there's anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things. Did you hear any words that were negative? I didn't. So all of our thoughts should be positive. A long time ago, 100 years ago, a man named James Allen wrote a book called As a Man Thinketh. And he suggests that we take care of the things that we think about just like we would take care of a garden. What do we want in our garden? Do we want beautiful flowers and fruit, or do we want weeds? And I would suggest that we would take every negative thought, every critical thought, because we're not the judge of other people, God is. So anything that you want to think that's negative, just pull that weed out and replace it with a beautiful flower. And in that way, if we choose our thoughts, if we're the true gatekeepers of our thoughts, then we can have a consistent life. We can have a congruent life. We don't have a life that's in different segments. Because if you do that, you're never going to get your act together. You have to have consistent, good thinking in order to be successful, to have a healthy life, and to have a congruent life. So I'm going to encourage you to be a gatekeeper of every single thought that goes through your mind.